Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and look at lesson 7. And remember, I said there's quite a few puzzles you got to go through, but all of them are needed to help you with lesson 8. So, as far as lesson 7, um, we're going to go ahead and look at Boolean expressions, and that's going to be puzzles 1 through 3. If you notice on 4, it's if statements. So we're going to start with 1 through 3. So I'm going to look at number 1, and it'll help you fill out 2 and 3. So remember to use everything you're supposed to use. You can use the voice to help you read, but try to get the reading done on your own. You predict what the code's doing. Add code to answer the last 2 questions. You'll need to create a Boolean expression for each. So if you actually look at this piece right here, and if you've been following what we've been doing, you know that the debug console has to be brought up a little bit, and you can control the speed right here on the side. Um, so if I was to run it just to see what it does, I'm going to go ahead and run it just to see that as it comes through, it basically looks at the logic. So 3 is less than 5. Is 3 equal to 5? And if you notice, it keeps on returning a false or a true. So the Boolean basically allows it to evaluate and then gives you an answer. And so if it's true, then it's good. If it's false, it'll return the word false. And this will help you out on some of the other parts of the program coming up. But what we're doing is we need to put in coding for these two. And so the easiest way to do it on 1, 2, and 3 is go to variables. You're not declaring any variables, but what you're doing is you're using a console log to put a message at the bottom. So if you notice the pattern, it's a question and then it's a console log. And then it's also using comparison. So is 10 less than or equal to 10? Well, then we go to the math and we actually look for something. So we're asking the question, is 10 less than or equal to 10? So then I'm looking for the middle piece, which is less than or equal to, less than or equal to. And if you notice what I just did, if I let go of this, as I hover over it, it tells you less than or equal to. And if you need examples, you can go right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this out and put it inside the message. Now the quotations will disappear because you're putting a mathematical part. You see this triangle, just keep in mind that this hasn't been declared, and we're going to go ahead and fill it in, but it says is 10, so I have to type in 10, less than or equal to 10. So it took it away. Now, if you want to see you did the right thing, you could easily hit reset and run it. Pick up the speed a little bit so it runs a little bit faster. And if you notice right here, is 10 less than or equal to 10? It's true because we put the right formula in there. And is 10 minus 3 greater than 3 times 3? Oh, so you know what? For this one, you might actually have to write it out on paper. But the key parts are greater than. So I'm going to have to find a greater than symbol. So I grab this one and I put it in the middle because that's what I'm starting with. Is 10 minus 3 10 minus 3? So now I'm going to find the minus one. So then I put 10 minus 3, and I'm basically doing what it's saying to do. So I'm writing out the sentence. Remember, this is syntax. So is 10 minus 3 greater than 3 times 3? So then I need to find a 3. Well, I need to find a times a number, and so I put in 3 times 3. It gets taken away, and I can put this thing at full blast if I want to get done with it. And I punch reset and I run it. And it's going to go through this thing real fast, like. And if I'm correct, I think it's already done because it says is 10 minus 3 greater than 3 times 3. So 10 minus 3 is 7, and that's not greater than 9. So that's why they give you a false. So everything worked out pretty good right here. Um, As far as number 2, I'm not going to go through it unless I see something big. So I'm going to look at it real quick. We can look at his, and I'm going to make a couple of videos that are different, so that way you don't have to wait around. So on this one, it says read the code, predict how question 1 and 2 will be answered, add code to answer 3 and 4. Yep. So you've done this in the last one. Just remember, you're going to be using the logical operators on this one, and that's not really doing comparisons, but and you got to have a comparison here. Just keep in mind what you need to get done so that it shows up on this debug console. And that's for 1 through 3.